All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Search 365 and our conversations from home. My name is Laura Cross. I have with me Rick and Brenda Reese from Colorado Springs and Mariano Nandine from Colorado Springs as well. And we hope everybody's staying safe and um, being well. We know we're all pretty excited. Travel is finally starting to open, okay? And it's not going to open all in one shot, it's opening up in phases. So tonight we kind of wanted to share with everybody a little bit of what the new normal of travel is going to look like. The health and safety concerns, address those, and what some of the vendors and stuff are doing for travel. But it is opening up. Some of the bookings are starting to go. So I am going to tell you a little bit about what I know from the airlines. And keep in mind, these change daily. So what we are telling you is true for today. We don't know how long, but they're going to keep changing because all this stuff is just, Brenda would even tell you it changes hourly, but updates are constantly changing. We'll give you some sites and stuff that you can look at. For the airlines, and most of them are pretty true across all the airlines, but I know American Airlines and Frontier Airlines for sure. When you go to the airports, you are going to have a mask on when you check in your baggage, when you're at the gate, when you're talking to your attendant, and even when you are on the flight. As a matter of fact, if you have had any symptoms or any symptoms of coronavirus or flu or anything like that, 14 days prior to the flight, they will not let you fly. They will also be doing health screens where it's just touchless. They just run it across your forehead. And if you have 100.4 temperature or higher, you will not be able to fly. They're not going to let their staff fly. So it goes to their staff and everything. Their staff will always have their gloves and their masks on. I know Frontier is going as far as making people either wash or sanitize their hands before getting on the flight. They have added hand sanitation places for you to make sure your hands are sanitized throughout the airport. They're doing everything possible to keep the germs down and make everybody feel safe. And that is kind of the majority of it. For airlines. I know for now, right now, since things are especially really slow, they're trying to make sure when they seat you apart and across and not just, pack in the lines. So they're keeping their spacing and stuff too. I do also know for the airlines, they are doing a full clean of those aircraft, spraying everything down in between each and every flight. So it's going to take a lot longer when you see them unboard before you're going to be able to board, because they have to be able to go through and spray down and wipe down everything before the next set of customers come in to fly or the passengers come in to fly. So they're doing everything above, beyond that they possibly can to make people feel safe and secure. People are still flying. I've got people that have booked flights. I know people that just came from LA, and yeah, the airports are looking pretty empty, but they're starting to pick up. So that's pretty much what I have for the airlines. And I know Miss Brenda, who also loves to cruise just like I do, has some information about the cruise lines. Brenda?
Wow, Laura, that is so true. The new normal, the way we will be traveling, and what you're saying is very true. It just goes back to what our parents used to tell us all the time. Wash your hands, don't put your hands in your face. And that's what cruise line, they're doing a really great job of cleaning up their ships. They're making sure that when you come on board, they're testing for your temperature. They're asking that you fill out a form. And I don't know if you've cruised before, but usually there's a lot of information that the cruise ships ask you to fill out your boarding docs. So I could see them now adding some things to it, like have you had any symptoms in the last 14 days? Pretty much what you said, Laura. They're going to just make sure that if you do have any type of symptoms, that you're not allowed on the cruise ship. And then they're actually going to give you a full cash refund. So they want to make sure that people know when you come on our ship, you're going to be taken care of. And I know that you're not going to be, for those of you who've cruised in the past, it was a lot of fun to do the buffet and try all the different foods. But now they're taking that away to where you can be served. And I think that's pretty nice. I like being served. So you can just say, okay, I'll take a couple of that. I'll take that T-bone. I'll take the lobster tail. And they put it up, they plate it for you. So I think that is a good thing, really, when you're cruising and you want to be pampered like that. Like you said earlier, they're going to have different hand sanitizing stations where you will clean your hands often. They ask that you wash your hands. They're going to have Purell, all different types of hand sanitizer. They're going to constantly be cleaning the public areas where people go. I have a little printout and it shows you where they're asking you to use your elbow to even click for, the elevator. So everybody is doing a lot of great things so that we can feel comfortable when we begin to travel. Because yes, we know the new normal will be different, but just like we learned how to take off our shoes and our belt, we will then also learn how to wear masks and wash our hands. So I know Rick has different things he wants to share with us. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Rick.
Thank you so much, Brenda. You're so right. I'm impressed. I'm proud to be in this industry. I really am proud. The industry came together to put together a document for the entire industry to follow. And so they're standardizing the safe and healthy just for the travelers. And so this document was prepared by the U.S. Travel Association. And it's a general guidance document that's put out to everyone in the industry. Now travel in the United States, 2.6 trillion. There are your resources to solve this problem, to make travelers feel safe. And so the industry guidance assumes a phased approach. It's not going to happen all at one time. We may say, okay, August is coming back, September, October, November, December, but it's going to be a phased approach. Now, this is for all the industries. We're talking hotels, resorts, airports, airlines, attractions, restaurants, retail, rental cars, meeting venues, event producers, travel advisors, cruise lines, vacation rental. I believe this is the first time the industry has actually come together to standardize one thing to go out to the entire industry to give them guidance on what they need to do in their respective field. There are 4 key areas, and one is create transmission barriers. Now, many of us are familiar with this: hand washing, masks, gloves, physical distancing, physical barriers, touch, low touch solutions, digital innovations. A second area is enhancing sanitation. And this includes more frequent employee hand washing, hand sanitizers in public areas, conducting thorough sanitation and disinfecting procedures, HVAC control. As I was going through this document, it really gave me a warm fuzzy that the industry is doing all it can to make travelers feel safe. The third area, promote health screening. And so we're talking temperature checks, like you were saying, Laura. Imagine someone coming to you with a device and it's checking your temperature. This is technology, ladies and gentlemen. Stringent health screening procedures for employees and customers. If they feel anything, they're releasing them. They can go home. They're isolating those workers and monitoring. The workers don't have to report. And we're talking self-isolation. Now, that's going to be a big change in the industry, where an employee can come in and say, I'm kind of feeling a little sick. Stay home. Stay home. The impact is just amazing. And they're providing health resources to the customers. So they've got signage. They're educating the customers on everything they need to know about staying safe. Here's another one that's pretty interesting. If there is a problem, this is so critical. If there is a problem, there's a response checklist. That wasn't there before. That's why we had some really major issues at sea when none of these countries wanted to let these ships port. But a response checklist if it's an employee, a response checklist if it's a customer testing positive for COVID-19. And then the fourth area that I believe is so critical as well. Now, I really like the open buffets on cruise. All you can eat. And you're right, Brenda. They're going to control it. And so they'll be following food and beverage service guidelines, not just the cruise lines, but every restaurant. And so this is a general guidance for getting out the entire industry, and basically just generally following the FDA practices. So the goal here, and this is an actual document you can download. The goal here is to build confidence with health and safety. Health and safety is the top priority of the industry. So it's going to be safe to travel. Again, this is going to be a phased approach. This is the first time I believe the industry has come together since 11/19, 2001. And this is a shared responsibility. By working together, we are going to overcome this challenge. We're going to begin to reopen our economy, and we're going to, and I like this, responsibly get America traveling again and building up that confidence in the industry. I know Mariano has some things he's going to be talking about with the CDC. I'm going to turn it over to you, Mariano. Please take
I was going to say, I know real quick before Mariano goes, before I forget, you mentioned, I said, you can still eat all you can eat. You just can't put your own grubby fingers on it. But another thing they've also incorporated is a lot of them have gone to mobile apps. The hotels have done this huge because now you can actually check in from your car. You can order the food from your phone. They're doing everything to help preventing that contact and help keep that space to make people feel safe. So I know that's another thing that I don't think any of us had a chance to mention, though, is a lot of it's gone mobile. So if you got a smartphone, you're really in there. You can check in. We were already doing our baggage and our luggage on the smartphone, but now you can check in for the hotels too. So, Mariano?
Yeah, and I think what we also need to share with the folks is that, again, it's not, we can't tell you enough that this is a very dynamic environment and things are going to change on a moment's notice based upon the things that are occurring, right? And so, if you do have a smartphone or a device, make sure that you have that with you all the time so that you can be checking to see if there's any last minute changes. Because, ultimately it's up to us as the traveler to have as much information to keep ourselves safe as we travel around the world or even around the country. Because we all know that just because things are a certain way in Colorado, that doesn't mean that it's the same way in California or Texas for that matter, okay? So there's a couple of websites that you need to keep in the back of your mind. The CDC has a website. It's also tied to the State Department, and there's a State Department site where you can get your travel and health advisory information. And if it's not up to the minute, it's pretty dadgum close. I mean, because they, again, they're the ones that are keeping us healthy and keeping us aware of the changes that are being made around the world. And so, like Rick was saying earlier, as the traveling public gets a chance to go out and travel, you really need to do your homework and make sure that where you're going to go, it's safe to go. And not only that, realize that in many cases when you're traveling, you're going to have to go through different locations to get there. So check that itinerary the whole way, not just your final destination, because it'd be sad for you to get stuck, halfway to your final destination because of an issue that may have occurred or whatnot. And so when we talk about that, we also want to highly encourage you, specifically because of what we're going through right now, is to look at travel insurance and get the travel insurance that's good, that's appropriate for your travel needs. Because, again, with this virus, the way that it is, you don't want to be hospitalized and then have to pay the bill. If you have that travel insurance, it'll take care of it for you, so there won't be, that concern on your mind, and you can focus on your trip and create memories of a lifetime in a positive way. So that's kind of what I want to share with you guys. Is again, make sure that you check the national, the local, the country information that you can find on COVID-19, because there's so much of it that's out there. But go to the official sources. Don't listen to your neighbor next door. Go to the agencies that know what they're talking about, or at least that have the latest information, so you can make the smartest decision that's right for you and your family or whoever you're traveling with. So again, check the CDC, check the State Department, check the countries that you're going to, and of course, check the vendors that you're going to be using too, because they could have last minute changes. Whether you're flying in the airline or going on a cruise or whatever. So, yeah, make sure you stay abreast and do your homework, because ultimately it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. Back to you, Laura.
Thanks, Mariano. And I went ahead and put those links in the chat for everybody so they can look up those articles and that link. But yeah, like I said, the world's starting to travel again, and it's still great to dream and start planning. And prices have never been lower. Some of them are even doing incentives and promotions and stuff right now. American Airlines, if you are a frequent flyer with them, they have an incentive right now for 500 bonus miles per flight. And that's for all flights booked before May 18th. So you still got 4 more days on that one, as long as you fly between July 1st and December 31st. And you can actually earn up to 5,000 miles. They're not doing any change fees. So if you do have to change those flights, they'll allow you to change them without fees. But you do have to register for the promotion before you book the flights. So there's a whole bunch of different promotions and stuff going on. And I'm sure Brenda knows about the carnival. I know Ron shared it with us, but I'm sure Brenda has some things to say too about the cruises and some of the promotions they're running right now.
Oh, yeah. You figure their cruise line really wants to make sure that everyone is happy. Am I on mute again?
No, you're good.
Can you guys not hear me?
No, we can hear you. We got you.
Oh, okay. I thought I was on mute. Yeah, the cruise line, they're doing, they're up 600%. That's how much people really want to go. I just saw a text from a friend of mine who works at Delta, and he was videoing how they were taking their time and cleaning it. The plane, they have this fog disinfectant that they're doing. So like we said earlier, Laura, this stuff changes by the hour on the different things that the travel industry is doing to make sure everyone feels safe. And that's what it really boils down to. When you travel, you want to feel safe, and you want to know that when you go somewhere, you're going to have a great time and you're not going to come back sick. So they are doing everything. The cruise line is doing so much. They have vouchers now. Rick and I were supposed to be cruising now, and we had to park until next year. And we got all this different bennies and bonuses and different types of online board chip credits just to make sure we cruise again. So they're doing a great job in making sure that everyone stays safe and have a great time when they do cruise again. And we will be cruising again. All righty, back to you, Laura.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons Carnival has seen that great increase, as far as I know, they are one of the first ones to open up. They plan on start cruising August 1st out of the port of Miami, Port Canaveral, and Galveston, and basically heading to the Bahamas. So I know another thing they're planning on doing is to adding more staggered dining time, so the dining rooms and stuff aren't as full as well. But they said basically, it's going to be a slow increase. More than likely, what's going to open up first is from your homestead to like private islands. And then as more countries open up their borders, then the rest of it will expand. But, if you're like in Europe trying to do a river cruise, you might not have all the same ports you normally do. It depends on whether their borders are open or not. And I know the Bahama, their own cruise line is opening up on August 1st also. So there's a lot of things you can start booking for now. Disney World's getting ready to open up. Disney World and Disneyland, they're going to start taking bookings now for, I believe it's July. I just saw another one out today. I know their Springs was already opening. Disney Adventures is already getting ready to open. And so there's all kinds of stuff starting to phase in openings. So definitely a lot available.
And, it is a phased approach. And so I know we've got a cruise that was scheduled for May that's moved out to next year. And I'm fine with that. And so there's people that are very adventurous and they want to be on the front end of the curve and they want to be out there and hey, that's fine with me. Everyone has their own level of comfort in traveling. You may say, I just want to take a local vacation, just go to a nice local place or maybe a national park or it may be a hotel, a resort that's close to you. And what's nice about it is that we have the freedom to do that. Now, one of the cool things, and that this is something that we know, that you've got 7.7 billion people who are locked down around the world globally, 7.7 billion. And they're all going to be released. And I'm sure it'll be a phased approach as people feel comfortable traveling again. But they're all going to do something. They're all going to do something because they've got cabin fever. And we've mentioned this before on one of our calls, but vacations are absolutely necessary. Annual vacations can reduce heart disease risk by 32%. Like you say, Mariano, that's better than any drug. People are on drugs right now, and they're getting drugged up because they got cabin fever. Marital satisfaction. We know there's couples that aren't used to being together in close quarters, especially with the kids. But marital satisfaction is linked to vacation frequency. They're ready to go, and you may be in that category. Hey, Rick, I got to get out of this place. Vacations contribute to higher positive emotion levels, less depression. People are absolutely depressed right now. I mean, they can't travel. I say vacations are spiritual. There's something that happens on the inside of the person. Right now, think about the best vacation you've ever been on. Think about how you felt. It makes you feel good, relaxed. Smaller waistlines, Mariano, even with the new procedures on the cruise ship, you still can eat all you want, and that's the best value there. But I don't know if it contributes to smaller waistlines. Lower stress and boost immune system up to 10 months. We need to travel. I mean, we need to get out. I live in Colorado. There's nothing like going to the mountains. We need to get out. And they say vacations can double your chances of getting a raise or a bonus. It's absolutely true. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know what that new normal is going to look like, but we're going to be there, and that's part of our future. Back to you, Laura.
Yeah, Rick, I was gonna say I went on a cruise that one of the 8-day cruises. Remind me, I agree. It's hard to have a smaller waistline. It takes a lot of discipline to do that. But I actually sat across from a girl, real petite. She had really light stuff. She makes sure she hits that gym because the ships do have a gym and a walk path, and she was making sure her waistline didn't increase. But it's very hard to do. So, Mariano, I'm sure you got some words of wisdom for us.
Well, I've got some words. I'm not sure if they're wisdom or not, but when we're talking about the fact that we're all cooped up right now and quarantined or staying safe at home, one of the greatest exercises that you can do as a family right now is do exactly what Rick was just talking about: is planning your next vacation, because that planning is part of the fun. Not to mention that it's going to get your mind off of the craziness that's going on right now and give you something else to think about, something that is going to be more pleasant. And that in itself is healthier than listening to all the doom and gloom, so to speak, of, the statistics and things that are going on right now. So, you've got a captive audience, so why not take advantage of it? And then, not only think about the vacation that you're going to take, next year or in 6 months or whatever, but plan several of them because you've got the time now and you've got, everybody in place. And so you can do some serious planning and do some serious research. And I think the other thing I want to share with you all is that realize that, again, regardless of where you live or what state you live in, those local state parks or, even within your state, like here in Colorado, we're so blessed to have so many beautiful places to go to within a 5-hour, radius. We can be in all kinds of different places. So I highly encourage you all to not only look at, exotic destinations, if you will, or international destinations, but start taking advantage of the beauty that's in your own state or in an adjacent state. Like, for instance, for those of us in Colorado, we're pretty close to California, but we're close to Arizona, where you can go to the Grand Canyon, which is, one of the wonders of the world. So, again, think about it that way. And then get your mind in a better place, and make it a healthier situation for you than what you normally would have by listening to all the noise on the TV. So that's all I got, Laura. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you my neighborhood here, there's pretty much nowhere you can't turn where you don't see someone's camper or their boat. They've all been coming out, they're all moving around. I can see Ron is probably going to be one of the first movers too. He's missing those guy burgers from Carnival. So, and I know as soon as we can go, my butt's gone. I don't need to wait. I'm good. I'll be gone as soon as they say we can.
Talk a little bit about the prices and booking prices. Even if a person's booking now for next year, what would you have to say about the prices that are out there available?
They are an all-time low. I mean, I've seen some from some of the cruise lines where if you book now, the first person or the first person's a regular price, the second person's like 65% off. I mean, they're ranging and bouncing, or they're offering cruise credits or reward credits like the airlines, extra bonus miles. I mean, they're doing everything they can to say, hey, we've done everything our part, cleaned it up. Now we just need you to come. So yeah, rates are lower than ever. And so I'd be using it to be booking right now.
I saw an email just recently for people in business, the travel advisors, and the fam trips. They want us to come out, and of course, we're going to pretty much jumpstart this whole thing here with the travel. But they want us to come out because we're part of the industry. They want us to come to the Bahamas. They want us to come to Jamaica. They want us to come to Europe. They want us to come all over the place. They want us to come on cruises, and because of the familiarization trips of being in the industry, they make you a deal you cannot refuse. So for those who are travel advisors, or for those who are looking for something to do from home, what a way to plan. And I know, Laura, you've been taking quite a bit of the training, and just the recent one that you just mentioned. Which one was that?
Oh, MSC Cruises. I've been doing them all day. I'm almost done with that class. That they have some beautiful ships, and you want to talk about Vegas style shows for entertainment. They are Vegas level style shows. They have Cirque du Soleil on their ships and stuff with huge platforms for them. When I was on MSC, Davina, it amazed me. You have these people in 3-inch heels, and even though we had rocky seas, they're out there performing, and I'm like, I'm having trouble standing up straight, and they're in 3-inch heels, and they didn't fall over or miss a beat. They have some outstanding shows and entertainment. They're increasing their ships by 2027. They're going to have over 25 ships, and these are some huge ships. Their biggest one's going to be 200,000 gross tons, and it's going to hold 5,000 people. So yeah, they are expanding. They're one of the biggest movers. And I can say Ron shared with us here $220 a cabin for a 5-day cruise to Mexico. So yeah, you got some really rock bottom rates. If you are planning on a vacation, I would most definitely take the time right now and take advantage of that. You're here, like you said, you're home with your family. Take the time to sit down and plan it together, because now you can all have something to say about where you want to go, and not just have one person plan it and drag the rest of you along. Yeah, go ahead, Mariana.
We almost forgot to mention to everybody that, both of our packages include a 7-night vacation at one of 3,000 locations around the world. And so, by joining us in our business, you're going to have a built-in vacation that you're going to save thousands of dollars, but because it's going to be given to you by just being a member with us for 12 consecutive months. And because of the bonus that's going on right now, or the stimulus package, if you buy the smaller package, you get 2 months credit. If you buy the bigger one, it's 3 months credit. And all you need is another 9 or 10, and you'll be able to take that vacation, with like a $99 reservation fee. But, again, it's an amazing opportunity. So you guys really need to take a serious look at joining us, because if you want to travel in style, we're going to show you how to do it.
Yep. Thanks for sharing that, Mariana. Yeah, I'm about 5 months away from that. Plus, I'm going to have my own. So I know I went on 7 vacations last year, and that might be a little hard pressed to hit them this year, but I'm going on at least 2. So, but like Mariana said, we have a lot to offer. I really, want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We are all individual business owners, but we work together. So if any of this interests you, or you have, questions, get back with whoever invited you. We are here to help, and we want to help other people travel the world. If you know me, you know my tagline, it's vacation for health. And that's because that's exactly what we need to do, is stay healthy. And I would much rather go on vacation than go see a doctor. So thank you for joining us tonight, guys, and we will see you next week.